Right, all natural at this table. The Norwegians, sorry, I mean, the pair from Monaco. They played a strong no trump. One spade shows 5 cards, one heart can be 4, one diamond is 4, and one club is 4, unless specifically 4, 3, 3, 3.
Bidding problem straight away for Helgamo. What he does with that diamond suit. What do you reckon? Is he going to bid 3 no trumps or something like 5 diamonds?
It's tough, isn't it? I suppose he can show his diamonds by bidding 2 no trumps. He doesn't expect. Oh, he doesn't expect the partner will like diamonds, which he will actually will. He will super accept if Helgamo had shown diamonds.
You can see diamonds might be wrong if you take away Hallis's Queen of Hearts. Stick in the 10, he'd still have a strong no trump, and there'd be 3 heart losers off the top.
We were expecting that both semi-finals had the same cards, but that is not the case. It's usually the case in the semi-finals, but Al Hollander tells me he's in a room in the other match, and he tells me that they don't play the same boards.
Such a pity.
I suspected that because I have experienced that before in the US. It's almost 50-50 if they play the same cards in the semi-final.
We let you analyze the difficult hands, Peter. Do you think he can make this? And how many tricks will he get?
Oh, I'll guess 13 tricks.
So you think Madara will drop a club at some point?
Yes, Helnes will drop a club now. But I'm most surprised that Pocky have discarded 2 clubs. But could be right.
In the other room, we have Zimmerman Multon North-South for Monaco against Bianchetti and Zia. This is the 64 board match. Ha! So 12 tricks. Right. No, Zimmerman and Multon won't have to play all 64. That's not the rule. I mean, anyone can start a session. I believe they have to play 2 of the 4. Any 2 of the 4. No live stream today, I'm asked. I don't know. I'm sorry. We don't even have a commentator for text yet, do we?
Oh yes, we have one.
Oh, my namesake, Roland Rohowski from Germany. World champion, actually. That was in Geneva, Peter, 1994. I think Germany won, didn't they?
Gosh, you remember, Roland, this deal that I'm not meant to mention, where in a particular match I'm not meant to name, someone made a rather light takeout double vulnerable facing a passed hand. Wasn't as light as Bucky's got here.
That's true. But he gets away with it, and the other person did not. At least she let her partner play the country, so she didn't go for 1700.
Well, I don't expect Madala is going to sign off, is he? He's not going to let this play. He's got quite a decent hand, really. Going to bid 3 clubs, surely.
Yes. I remember one club is almost always at least 4 cards. And we know now that it is at least 4 cards, because West has denied 4 spades, and when he doesn't have 4 spades, one club is at least 4.
Well, doesn't matter if West doubles or not, because North will go back into hearts anyway.
Yes, they will end up in 4 spades eventually, don't you think? And go down? I think so.
Now they will stop in 3 spades. Helgemo is wondering, where do all this bidding come from? I have 19 high card points. They are bidding to my left, they are bidding to my right, and my partner is bidding.
Yeah. Very good points, Peter. Now, do you see that we actually got a swing on the very first board? An 11 imp swing to Monaco. That was unexpected, wasn't it?
Well, West did bid 5 diamonds, and Bianchetti potted a 6th over 5 hearts.
Yeah.
Well, 5 hearts bid on the way to 5 spades. I think Helgemo's done pretty well to stop short here, hasn't he? He's deterred by the fact that there's a double over 1 club, which suggests Bocchi has got 4 spades.
Right, we'd better explain who's of leads.
3 spades is too high.
Could be, yeah. I was just going to explain Rusinov leads for listeners who don't know what they are. If you play Rusinov leads, you lead second from touching on it.
Well, they couldn't possibly stop lower than 3 spades, could they, with that huge West hand and his partner bidding?
And we can see that Helmut's played for his regular chance, that the clubs were 4-2. He needs to set up the 5th club to discard a diamond loser.
Yeah.
He still had a problem with the 3rd heart, didn't he?
Got 2, yes. So Fantoni Nunes sitting out for Monaco, and Team Lavazza playing 500. We have Dubois sitting out. And it doesn't get much better than this. These two pairs are not only two of Europe's, but two of the world's best.
Someone asked me yesterday, Roland, what happened to the nickel team. I wasn't able to answer as I've only been watching the first session every day. What answer should I have given?
That they were leading all the way, but that they lost the last segment and lost by 3 imps overall against Hammer.
You watched that final set?
No, I did not.
Sounds like I'm a prosecuting counsel and you're the defendant. Did you do this? No, I did not. You do realise you're under oath?
Yep. Deny all charges against me. I am innocent.
Yes.
Gosh, unbelievably.
I
think I have a very good excuse because the match wasn't shown.
Exactly.
No, it wasn't on ViewGraph. Well, we won't be awarding a gold medal to the person who selects the ViewGraph matches in that case.
Interesting message from a spectator here. Watching these guys on the video looks horrible. 4 adults with 13 small cards. So
Quite
Monaco may
possible
have even game here, sorry David, because I see that Bianchetti and Sia are in game in the other room. Over to you.
I was just going to make a similar point that that double is unorthodox and they're likely to pass at the other table, and then it may be harder for them to stop short of game. Indeed, the game is more reasonable in a way if North hasn't come in, because then there's much more chance of a 3-2 spade break. Equally, more chance of a 3-3 club break, but once he makes a take-out double of clubs, that drops as well. So that's a good example of a hand where an intervention by the opponents, this time a take-out double, alters the odds adversely in 2 different suits.
2 clubs is 18-19 balanced. Other Italian pairs use 2 diamonds for that purpose.
And what do they open on 17?
Very funny, Peter. It's an upgrade.
If they like to upgrade, that seems a very reasonable hand to do it on. 2 4-card majors and all the points in the long suits, so that's pretty fine 17 count.
2 spades is a relay to 2 no trumps. Bid 2 no trumps partner no matter what you have.
The floor is yours, Roland.
You mean 3 diamonds? That's a very good question, David, I have to say. I have to ask Al what 3 diamonds is now. I thought he would bid 3 clubs, Stamen-like, but maybe 3 diamonds is just that.
I don't know what the regulations are. Are they ever allowed to make the same bids that we would have done on a hand?
No, that's against the regulations.
No, it's not forbidden, but it's unfair.
But we never asked our faithful listeners if we are getting through to you. And then when I ask that question, I normally get 17 responses in 10 seconds. Yes, yes. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Whatever the meaning of 3 diamonds. Oh, interesting.
Very obvious. 5 clubs and a singleton somewhere.
Absolutely
unbelievable.
It's unbelievable that they can remember all that, don't you think, David?
Well, it's unbelievable that they should think that's the best value for such a precious bid as 3 diamonds. You haven't got that many bids over 2 no trumps, have you? Fancy allocating one whole bid to 5 clubs and a singleton.
No. But remember that Bocky had many bids available over 2 clubs. You see, like
well,
2 hearts, for instance, would be 4.
Did he have a statement bid or?
No, but
I see. He could show if he had a 4-card major, yeah. So
yes,
he didn't do that because he wanted to show 5 clubs a singleton and still find a spade fit.
Yes, 2 clubs, 2 hearts would be 4 plus spades, but can't be 4 spades and 5 clubs or 5 diamonds.
Right. Well, I'm going to have to retract everything I said because it seems like a pretty marvellous method if they can have one go over 2 clubs and also get into 2 no trumps and have different sequences there. Must be able to describe almost every hand, so that's absolutely fabulous.
I'm not sure that 2 spades was a transfer. The cards.
Yes, it is. It's a puppet to 2 no trumps with either 4 spades and 5 clubs or 5 diamonds, or a balanced hand.
Oh yes, but it shows when he didn't show a balanced hand, then he had promised 4-card spade. That's the reason South bid 3 spades over 3 diamonds.
Yes, but I'm talking about 2 spades. It is a puppet to 2 no trumps. Partner must bid 2 no.
Oh yes, but different. Some told it was a transfer to 2 no, and that's not a transfer to 2 no. It is that's to kill now. A puppet to 2 no. Partner has to bid 2 no, and the next bid North will show what type of hand he has.
Well, transfer and puppet to 2 no trumps is exactly the same, surely. Partner has to bid 2 no trumps, so that's what transfer means.
I agree. Also in my vocabulary, it's exactly the same.
Okay, I have to disagree with you.
Well, you've got to explain yourself, sir, in that case.
If you, as an example, have the double check back over one club, one spade, one no. Now two clubs is a puppet to two diamond, which can be passed or bid on and show invitational hands.
It's also a transfer to two diamonds. There's no difference.
Yes, Al Holland totally agree with me. Puppet is a forced bid. A transfer bid shows something directly. You don't have to accept a transfer bid, but a puppet bid you are forced to follow.
Okay. $2,200 already. Very impressive, of course. It's good for everyone. Europe, America, West Coast America, 12:25 p.m. 3:25 on the East Coast. On board 2, Zia escaped down 1 in 4 spades, so that was a flat board.
Yes, Zimmerman gave away a trick. In the lead, he let the king of diamond, so there were only one diamond loser.
Adara thinking about where should I take this, what do I want to do next.
But I have to agree, it's not easy to lead from the north hand. It was played after two no, three hearts, 3 spades, 4 spades. You don't like to lead your singleton when you have 4 good trumps. You don't like to lead from the king's 4 of heart, jack 10 and 2 small spades. So the lead of the diamond king is the normal lead from the north hand.
I agree. I have a correction, of course. It's not Badala thinking. It's Bocky, because he's the declarer. And it's not so easy to play from here. He knows he has a certain club loser, right? So he now needs to play the rest without losers. He has to locate the queen of diamonds, but even that is not enough. So ideally he likes to ruff 2 hearts in hand.
But for that, he needs the queen of diamond by east.
Yes. So let's see what is the winning line now that we know the layout. Now West will be out of trumps, of course, now. Can you rough clubs instead? Well, maybe not.
Jack McKee has a nice analyze. He said, take the king of spades, play a club to a jack and duck.
Aha. Because West cannot continue trumps.
Does he know which hand has the last trump?
I don't think
No.
so. Right, so he was going after the hard roughs, and now that the queen is off, he can't make it anymore.
No, but as I said, that was likely to happen.
Yes, looks like the best line, doesn't it?
Yes, for sure it's a line which would give him the contract. Diamond to jack, king of heart, heart off, diamond to the S, heart off, and now he just need an entry or the diamond's not too bad.
I sometimes find it difficult to know whether to cash a high card like the King of Hearts. Could you say something on that, Peter, as to why you think you should take the King of Hearts before taking the roughs?
My idea is that if he don't take the king of hearts, then he's open for roughs in both red suit. Let's see here, off a heart, diamond to the S, off another heart. Now he has the singleton king of heart, and one of his opponents is probably void in heart now.
Can't he rough a club high to get back and draw the last trump?
He hasn't opened the club offs yet.
No, he still had a club, David. He doesn't have transportation in clubs.
I see, that club has just gone. Okay, yeah, good explanation. Is it true that if North had decided to abandon looking for a club fit, which he might have done with only King, Queen and Jack facing around 18-19, he could have made it more likely that his partner played in spades, which is what you normally aim for when you've got one hand with most of the points?
Well, he could have made his partner declarer if he had bid 2 hearts, David.
Yes, you said that would deny.
Uh, Even if the second table dropped now, we should have a score on this deal. after the claim because we have a result from the other room. Yes, we know that, but we don't have the 11 imps we should have on the scorecard. Now we have. Lovely. Everything's fine.
Right. I just want to go back to what I was saying, that the fact that Bocchi went out of his way to show that he had 5 clubs on a hand where many players would just use Stayman. They're not even facing an ordinary 2-no trump opener. They're facing a lighter hand than that, about 18, 19 points, and he's only got 6. By showing 5 clubs, he deterred Helniss from leading the ace of clubs, which was the lead that was given at the other table. So as it happened, by saying more about his hands, what Kelsey used to call daisy picking when he thought that it was unjustified, he ended up getting himself with a much tougher defence, because few players would lead the ace of hearts normally, I suggest.
Right. We just get an instant replay of the hand. As you see, it's the same hand as before. Declaro will lead something and then claim. West will lead something and then the operator will claim 11 tricks. Sorry, 9 tricks. Right.
You know, we sometimes remark, Roland, that we get more system crashes in the US than we do elsewhere in the world. Is that because they're having to use a hotel Wi-Fi system in effect, a heavily loaded system with other people on it?
Exactly right, David. It's because it's wireless. Cable is, of course, so much more stable.
Sounds like you could write a limerick on that.
I just wonder why they are forced to use the wireless connections. In the hotel, there should be a possible also to make a direct cable connection.
Right. In America, and perhaps in Britain too, I'm not sure, they open one diamond with 4-4 in the minors. I never understood why. In Scandinavia, it's quite common to open one club, as we see Helgemo did here. They did miss the diamond hit.
I can tell you why, Roland. It's because a lot of the Americans open one club on a double sum. So they like to open one diamond and at least show one of their suits in the opening.
Right.
The reason why people used to prefer a club so strongly in England is because a responder would normally bid suits up the line, and that would give them the chance of immediately finding a club fit if you were showing 4 cards, or partner might then bid diamonds to find a diamond fit. But when system changes such that the clubs may be short and people bid the major before the minor, unless they've got a very strong hand, then the advantages may change round. I know all the American teachers, and the same with the English Bridge Union teachers, teach beginners to open a diamond, so that sets the scene.
Well, Perhaps he was too light, David.
He certainly wasn't bidding it to get to game, because he would need his partner to make another move before game would be on. He needs almost a 20 count, doesn't he, in playing strength, and then he could have shown the spade fit. So I think he was more concerned with defending well if East-West won the auction.
Yes. Now, we are not necessarily stuck again, because Madala takes his time, thinking about what to do next. Well, I can't see any other line than a double finesse in hearts. He could play east for a singleton honor, and then finesse through west after that. Doesn't matter what he does here, as we can see. So went for the double finesse.
Well done by Helnes. The reason he found this defense is probably that his partner showed a 5-cut diamond, so he knew there were no diamond tricks for taking, so the only chance was to play club.
Are you close to the microphone, Peter, or did you put it somewhere? You are a little faint, just a wee bit.
Okay, I have it where I used to have it, and it's fixed on my headset, so I only can move it a little bit up and down.
You're fine now. Now 6 clubs here is of course a very good contract. Doubles showing spades, at least 4. And now Helgem was able to bid a free 3 clubs when he didn't have to. So that shows a good 6-card suit at least. I think they'll get there easily enough.
Probably West has denied the ace of spades. One would think that 3 hearts was agreeing clubs, or at any rate asking for a stopper for no trumps. Seems to...
I'm not...
Quite a few errors here. 3-0 by West, 4 clubs by East. So I'm slam, interested in the slam partner. I have club support, 4 hearts, a cubid. And we shall see, is 4 spades a cubid, or is it kickback a Roman key card? We shall see in a second. If Helgemo shows 2 key cards with the queen, then we know what 4 spades is. In that case, the response should be 5 hearts. Not after double though. When people double your key card ask, you have extra steps. You have pass and you have redouble, so you have 2 extra steps, and that's exactly what they use here, as you see, because his normal response would be 5 hearts over 4 spades. But now that he had 2 extra steps, 5 clubs shows the same as 5 hearts would have done without the double.
Is that right? I mean, what about 4 no trumps? It's got pass, redouble, 4 no trumps, 5 clubs.
Yes. So
He's got 2 key cards and the queen of trumps.
you mean pass is 1 of 4, redouble 0 or 3, 4 no. No, 4 no, 2 without, David, and 5 clubs 2 with.
Yes.
It all makes sense. Right. Are they on the same page?
Well, he's
Some
checking if he can bid it in no trumps, presumably, but he can't count more than 6 clubs. Ace king is 10, and the spade is 11, so maybe he'll bid it in clubs.
Yes, that's possible. What is the convention called, I'm asked, when you have 2 extra steps after a double of ace asking? Well, some play dopey, some play something else.
It's called ropey over a double. Redouble,
Ropey.
none, pass 1.
Yeah, we believe 4 spades is ace asking. And Helena's thinking about 6 no trumps, of course, because he feels a spade ruff. You see that? No, South double 4 spades. And he said, well, what if North has a singleton spade? Can I take 12 tricks in no trump?
He may think West has a fair chance of holding the queen of diamonds to make up his vulnerable opening bid. And that would be good enough if he had only 6 clubs.
Yes, as we can see, he has 12 tricks in no trump also. What a strange message I got. How do you interpret this? Now, please listen. You run this show. I question the taste of the cuffing comments. They certainly do not add anything to the bridge game. Thank you.
Come again. I couldn't follow that.
Okay, I'll take it slowly. You run this show. I question the taste of the cuffing comments. They certainly do not add anything to the bridge game.
Does he mean that some of the some commentators, not us, I don't think, make jokes about people coughing, referring to the German pair that were found guilty of abnormalities?
Ah, that didn't even cross my mind, David. Yes, you may be right. Has something to do with Roland Rohowski, I think, a German commentator, and his teammates, well, previous teammates, Ilinescu and Vlado. Cuffing. I understand now. And I don't like that at all. I don't like that comment.
So it was just an insult.
Well, why is he addressing it to you? It's nothing to do with you, Roland. You've never made any jokes on that.
No, but he started with you run the show.
What is one of the tap-in commentators referring to it? Anyway, that's their business where they seek their humour. Right, well that was pretty interesting because he didn't really know for sure, but he had two chances that would make 6 no trumps okay, that West had a 7th club, or that West had the Queen of Diamonds. He wasn't very likely to have the Queen of Hearts because of North-South had been bidding hearts. And there was a very serious risk of a spade ruff, so even if he couldn't be sure of 12 tricks, the risk of the spade ruff was greater than the risk of 6 no trumps going down. He eventually decided.
We lost you there, David, in the middle of the sentence. Are you with us?
Normally,
Yes.
I don't like to double with a 5-card major, but I must admit that on this hand, that hand here, with 21 high card points, you are forced.
Yes. You're too good for one spade, simply.
Some told me yesterday, you are never too good to overcall. But 21 high card point with S-King, 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 I would double also.
That someone was me, Peter, and actually I quoted Eric Kokish when I said that he says that you're never too strong to overcall, but you're often too weak. That's his philosophy.
The textbooks suggest that you should bid one spade on up to 17 and double on 18 in rough terms. Eric Kokish has a view which may be regarded as eccentric, although he's a world expert. But he thinks you're almost certain to get away with it if you overcall one spade on 21 points, but it doesn't always happen, and there have been a few disasters of people making one spade plus 4 and so on. Well, we've been told that one no trump is artificial, and we haven't been told what it means, but seeing as he's probably denied spades by going past it, maybe they play that it shows the minors. I mean, one no trump is a pretty useful bid in a natural sense, so you wouldn't be very keen to give up such a bid normally.
No, I'm just studying their card. One hard double past one no trump. They are telling that we may make a light take-out double with good shape. Responses natural.
But why would one no trump be alerted then, Peter?
I can't tell, but I can tell what's written on their convention card.
Well, he doesn't have a natural one no trump response. Forget about the yellow flash, he's only got Jack X of hearts.
I totally agree with you, but still I just quote their convention card.
Okay.
A bit much if you get blamed for saying very accurately what's on their card, I must agree. We can safely say that South would have bid 1 spade if he had 4, and he would have bid 2 spades over 2 hearts if he had 3, very likely. So Bocchi has concluded when he hears 3 clubs that there isn't a 5-3 spade fit.
Even on a very weak hand, 1 heart, double, pass. Sometimes you bid 1 spade now on a 3-card suit.
The worst case scenario is, of course, if you're dealt 3, 4, 3, 3, with not enough to bid 1 no trump.
But taking 9 tricks will probably be a gain for the Lavazza team now. Their first game in the match.
Yeah,
I expect a gain on that.
I think you're right there, Peter. One diamond double, 1 heart by West, I expect. They ignore the double and bid as if there had been a pass.
Now Bocchi has a pretty good hand because he expects his partner is going to be short in diamonds, very likely. Yes, so he's worth about 2 spades. I mean, they play a conventional bid of 2 hearts to show that, but to bid 1 spade would not be enough. Some people might say, well, it's a free bid, I didn't have to bid, so I must show a pretty good hand. But you'd want to bid 1 spade without the ace of clubs. They've only got 20 points between them, and it seems as if the bidding is going to be difficult to stop short of game the way they're going.
Maybe they can stop in 3 spades.
Matala, no. He's sitting opposite a passed hand. So he will try to find the breaks.
Yeah, he'll bail out in 3 spades now.
Perhaps it was a close decision for Bocchi whether he should bid again over 2 spades. I mean, if 2 hearts just meant he had a normal 2 spade bid and partner signed off, you might think that he wasn't entitled to go any higher.
There I agree, David. I expected him to pass 2 spades.
Certainly wouldn't expect Nadala to be thinking at this stage.
Yeah, I don't think Bocchi overbid when he bid 2 hearts. He has a pretty good hand. 4 small diamonds, quite good, opposite shortage. Normally could well be a singleton. 2 aces and a singleton himself.
Well, of course, two spades is easily worth that. We were discussing whether 3 clubs was an overbid.
Yes, but I was just commenting on what Roland Rohowski wrote in the room, David,
I
where he
see
said
what you
that
mean. Why should? How can he say that though? If he's an international player, I mean, two spades normally shows 8 to 10, and he's got a very good 9 count.
Yes, two hearts is absolutely a good bid by Bogey. Two spades natural by Madala. And now the question is North hand worth one bit more? Bogey felt that. I didn't, but it's a very close decision.
To be fair to Roland Rohowski, I think he means that two hearts showed invitational values with 4 spades, and then once you've shown that, then you are perhaps overbidding when you bid 3 clubs.
Yes.
That's how I interpreted it.
That's right. Well, that's just what we were saying, yes, of course. Nobody could claim that he'd already overbid. No. Very good, yeah, we're all in agreement.
But you see, David and Roland, we have our usual problem with Trier. Now all our pictures is out in the whole world. But okay with me.
I won't lose any sleep over it. I'll only lose sleep because it's very, very hot still. Same where you are, David?
Yes, that's right. And of course, I've got this wonderful fan that is just looking at me defiantly because I'm not allowed to switch it on.
And as Peter predicted, board number 8 was indeed a swing, 2-digit swing, 10 imps to Lavazza, when Zimmerman went 1 down in 3-0 at the other table. Now how should you play this to get to 9 tricks? You know West is out of diamonds, you know you cannot ruff low. You might be able to ruff with the 9, it's not a certainty of course, depending on who has the 10. He sees his problem in the club suit, with no 9 of clubs anywhere, so that he'll likely lose 2 clubs, so the rest must be his.
About the 3-0, to be fair, Zimmerman didn't have a chance to make the contract. It was played by North. At our table it was played by South, who got an entry in trick 1 on the Jack of Hearts to take the club finish. So 2 club tricks, 2 heart tricks, 2 diamond tricks, and 3 spade tricks. But playing from the north hand on the lead of the 10 of hearts to Jack and S, he really didn't have a chance to make.
Well, maybe he shouldn't rough here at all. What about pitching a club? But then another diamond will come from east, the ace of diamonds, and then he will have to rough high-ish anyway. He knows that. Should he throw both clubs? Or throw a club now and throw another club on the ace of diamonds? And then take the rest on cross rough?
Well, West can throw clubs as well. So does that make his cross rough any safer?
No, he will still be dependent on the 10 of spades, David. He can take one club rough low, but then he'll have to rough with a 9 next, and that will work.
Well, how can he take one club rough low? I mean, West can throw 2 clubs away on the diamonds.
2. So he knows that, yes. So that's a possibility. So he basically needs the 10 of spades to be with east. So maybe he'll just insert the 9 now, knowing that he will get that problem later if he discards clubs. But he doesn't have to commit just yet, you may argue. He can rough high first and then rough with the 9 later.
See, and the heart suit offers some chance of a double roughing finesse through West, but I think after East's opening bid he may suspect that the heart honours are split.
So the moment of truth, the 9 of spades, praying, and his prayer was heard.
A little technical thing. You always teach beginners honor on honor. But in this case, the dummy has 2 honors in clubs, Jack 10, and that's the reason West played low in clubs. You just cover the second honor.
Well, I have
West
to correct
played
you
the
there.
king of clubs. If West
It
played
wasn't
the king
dummy,
of clubs,
Peter. Clara was south,
okay,
closed hand.
yeah. But still, the Clare would not play an unguarded jack here. If West, by mistake, had played the king of clubs, the Clare would only have 1 club loser.
That's true. It was scored as 1 down, and I don't think that happened. Didn't he have 9 tricks when he'd roughed with the 9 of spades?
I will try to go through the play.
Now what? Are you going to sit for the double, convert to penalties, or are you going to bid 3 no trumps?
I think you go for penalties.
He did go 1 down. He tried to end play West, assuming that he had 2 clubs. Right. So it is correct. 4 imps to Monaco there. So David, you would pass here?
Well, I think so. He's got a chance of some sort of chance of 3 club tricks. A few bits and pieces. No, he's gone 3 no trumps. See, I mean, you really do expect 3 clubs to go down, and even if partner's doubled light, you're practically certain 3 clubs will go off.
And that for sure is cheaper than playing against.
Yes, but are you going down in 3 clubs at all? You lose 2 clubs. I see that hard. Um, if he had passed 3 clubs, that contract would have made, would it not?
Oh yes, that was my point. It's cheaper to bid 3-0.
Well, I think you're assuming that dummy's only got a 7 count when you're deciding what you should bid on the West cards. Just because on this layout it may 3 clubs doesn't even go off, that's because your partner's got 7 points.
Yes, so it's cheaper to go 3 down when you're not doubled in 3 no trumps. And indeed it is.
Well, it's absolutely unbelievable that 3 clubs is going to make looking at the West hand, isn't it? Just because they've got the preemptor's got 2 kings and dummy's got 2 aces and the queen with the king on side. Happens you can make it, but I mean you're not expecting that when your partner has found a double, vulnerable double. You would expect to make an average of about 500 or something, and maybe quite a lot more than that.
Yes, but you know your partner is a passed hand, so you won't expect a million from him.
Right, I had missed that. That's he's a passed hand, is he? Yes, okay, that shifts the odds. If he's not a passed hand, I mean, there might be absolutely nothing in the north hand.
Yep. Helge, we're not liking what he's seeing now. King of Hearts off, and South actually has an entry to his clubs. But then again, Madala doesn't know that he has an entry, so he may not play another club. But I think a diamond will also work nicely for the defense here.
It's difficult to assess the east hand when you're deciding whether to double or not, because you've got absolutely massive playing strength in those 3 suits. So you're worth a protective double on a passed hand, certainly, because I mean you're absolutely fine for playing strength. The only risk is that if partner decides to leave it in, then your defense is going to be very disappointing. I mean, what would you both have done on the West hand? I know you can see 3 clubs makes, but that was at any rate a close decision, wasn't it? Because between 3 no trumps and pass.
Yes, I have to confess, David, that I would probably have passed. Now, Madala may think, well, West didn't pass the double, so he probably doesn't have 5 clubs. Ace King 8 7 to 5. So it's quite likely that my partner has another club. However, I can't be sure that my King of Spades is an entry. So maybe I should play a diamond instead. Just explaining what's going on in Madala's mind here.
He is also looking at the 5 of hearts from Buckley. They play Smith's Echo, and high card tells I like my lead. So for sure, North don't have a 3-card club. 5 of heart tells partner, find something else. And with that dummy, if North didn't have good diamonds, he would have played high-low in heart, so partner was not tempted to give away something.
Yeah. I'm asked, would it have been an alternative for East to bid 3 hearts instead of double? I don't think so. If you come in the balancing seat, I think double stands out a mile. He would get all through 3 suits in, spades, hearts and diamonds, whereas 3 hearts is unilateral.
Yes, I mean your hand is nowhere near good enough to bid 3 hearts. The only reason you're entitled to double is that you are expecting partner to choose one of your suits, and then you'll have a good trump fit. You don't know that if you just choose the suit yourself.
Right. The rule of thumb here is that if you have no preference, double. If you have a preference, overcall. But this defense cost a trick. Helgamo can now get out for 2 down rather than 3.
Yes, but the main problem for North-South is to look for a way safely to defeat the contract.
Yeah, I hope they don't lose by 1 imp, Peter. Lavazza won by 1 imp yesterday in the quarterfinals.
That doesn't mean that you don't do your utmost to beat the contract. Sort of traditional when people lose by 1 imp to try and find a board where their partner gave away 2 imps on the penultimate board, forgetting about the whole host of 10s, 11s, 12s, 13s, 14s scattered nearer the top of the scorecard.
John Swanson asking a question, might North have doubled 3 no trumps after his partner's vulnerable 3 clubs? What do you think?
Well, I personally would think that would be a pretty poor double.
This one no trump is 12 to 14. They play 3 different ranges depending on seat and vulnerability. If Madala had been non-vulnerable against vulnerable opponents, they played 10-12. At Love All they played 12-14, and they play 15-17 when vulnerable.
I'm very surprised. In the closed room, Moulton passed the south hand.
Yeah, one no trump for him in the other room would be 10-12. But he must be able to open something else.
No, the previous board number 10.
Oh, sorry.
With a Queen Jack 10, the 7 clubs and 2 kings.
Pretty basic defensive play, of course, but East must put one of his honours on the Jack of Hearts to leave himself with the 2 to cross back to partner's hand.
In the other semi-final between Team L and Schwartz, L is up by 7 after 12 boards. Very low scoring match, that one, 15-8. And we lead your match by 4 crashes, I got from Al Holland.
In the other match, 15-8. Schwarz is down, but it's impossible to compare. They could have a lot of very flat boards because, as Roland told from the beginning, they are not playing the same cards in the 2 semifinals. Yesterday we were told that they would play the same cards in the 2 semifinals, but I expressed my doubt about that because I know only half of the times that will be the truth.
If East had a 13 count, he would not have started with a double. It doesn't usually work well to make a negative double on 5-5 hands, because your partner is unlikely to respond in either of those suits. You want to look for a 5-3 fit, so you would start with 2 spades. Here he's only got 8 points, so he's starting with a normal sort of negative double, as he would on any weak hand with 5 spades.
Now I got a question in Swedish. It's not because I don't understand it. I'm just preparing a reply. How much must you be down in order to concede? I suppose he means before the last segment. Something like, I don't know, 80, 90 in a semi-final, maybe 70. I don't know. Impossible to say.
Is he referring to this match, or is he in the middle of playing some match that hasn't gone too well at his house?
I don't know. Well, it's just curiosity, and we welcome all questions related to bridge, and not religion or politics, please. Yes, and the spectator actually just said, well, thank you for the reply, but I meant just generally speaking, playing tournament bridge. Well, it depends where you are and who you are. You know, how many boards do you have to play in the last segment? Some concede when they're 40 behind. Some don't concede at all, no matter how far they are behind. So it's an individual thing.
Yes, but if you face that sort of decision too often, it's time to come and have some bridge lessons with Roland to try and improve your game. It's not the sort of problem that you want to be in the habit of facing.
But I remember in one of the early rounds, a team was down with more than 100 imps, either against Nickel or Monaco, and they played on. And in a way, I understand that. It was one of the weaker teams, but these players will almost never have a chance to play the big guns. So they have paid their entry fee, and I quite understand that they like to play all 64 boards. Why not?
Exactly. I had a Kibitzer say to me on the very first day we were commentating that it only cost $40 a day to enter this, and you had the chance perhaps to play against some of the very best players in the world. And I too, if I was 40 years ago, the whole point of going up to play in big tournaments in London was hoping that you might just play 2 boards against Friday or Rees or Flint or something. And that was a big thing to aim for, to actually play against the famous players of the day. That's why I can't understand all these letters they get in the ACBL quarterly, people insisting that they want to play in stratified events with no one who's much better than themselves. It's not the way to improve in the game, really.
Right. So, a different vulnerability here. So now 1-0 trump is 15 to 17 when Bucky opens. Let's see, do they play Smolen, Peter? If you think you have a game going hand as south, and if you play the Smolen convention, you can bid 2 clubs. If partner bids 2 diamonds to deny a 4-card major, you can jump to the 3 level in your 4-card suit to show 5 in the other major. Now, of course, you don't have to do any of the kind. You just raise to 4. The best response you could actually get was 2 spades, now knowing that you have a 9-card fit.
Helness leads his singleton because he doesn't want to attack any of the other 3 suits. He knows there's hardly any chance that his partner will ever get in to give him a ruff, because he's got 14 points in his own hand and the opponents have bid game.
one in the audience have a point, tells that some top players hope opponents will concede when they are a lot behind. They hope that so they can have an early dinner
Night.
or early night and get out without playing the last 16 boards. I see that, but in a way I'm close to say that it's a little bit unfair to concede, because when you concede you give your opponents a better chance in the next round.
Well, here I disagree with you, Peter. I don't think that should be a concern of yours. If you've had enough, if you are fed up, you should be allowed to withdraw.
Yes.
Right here, the cards are not well placed for Bucky, and he will go down in this contract. King of Hearts off, Ace of Diamonds off. If you swap the East-West hands, he would have made the contract. And now he's going many off, like 3.
Helmess knew, of course, that his partner didn't have another trump because of the Stayman response. Counted them as 5, 4, 3, 1 around the table.
Yes, invites do not exist anymore. Well, hardly exist. I got these top players rarely invite. I would have bid 3 spades as south. Yes, that's possible. I agree. I would bid 4. Once partner shows spades, I'm happy with the 9 card fit. We may not make it, but I am going to bid 4.
It's a different matter discussing whether you should bid 3 or 4 on that hand. If you do play invites, that's is a decision worth chatting about. But deciding that you're never going to make invites is something that I cannot agree with at all. People say they don't want to get stuck in the middle on 2 no trumps or 3 of a major. Well, why not when your partner's got a raving minimum and is not going to accept your game try? I'd rather be stuck in the middle than going 1 or 2 off in game. So I don't really understand people who think you should make the decision without consulting partner.
You are absolutely right, David. But on the actual hand, where a partner bid your 5-card suit, and you have 8 high card points, and loaded with 10s and 9s, I quite agree with the 4-spade bid by South.
Absolutely. The fifth trump is worth 2 or 3 points. Yeah, it was automatic.
Helgemore in good shape here, with the heart finesse on. Take 3 heart tricks, 4 diamond tricks. And that should be at least 8 tricks.
Are you sure, Roland? If you take the
Right.
heart finesse and the heart finesse lose, then you risk 5 spade losers, 1 heart, and the ace of clubs.
Yes, but if you, that's true, Peter. So you think that he'll settle for his 7 top tricks? You may be right. I hope they don't lose by 2 imps.
If you spend the whole match worrying about losing by 1 or 2 imps, you wouldn't make any safety plays at all.
And some tells me that the new scoring, where every imp is converted to victory points, should kill safety plays. I haven't seen any proof of that statement. And I have seen the opposite.
It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense, does it? Because you're going to lose a lot of victory points if you go down in game.
That's a good point. Okay, so he made the opponents take the heart finesse for him. We don't know what would have happened if Madala, in with the king of spades, would have switched to a heart there. When he continued spades, he unplayed partner to lead hearts.
And I have read that there have been made a calculation on the Bally results. If you change the scoring to 25-0, compare 25-0 with the new scoring methods, 23 out of the 24 teams which reached the knockout stage would have been the same.
You remember Roland mentioned that some people are willing to bid a spade on very heavy hands indeed, something like 18 points, but I said yesterday that just because that may be true, it doesn't mean you should start responding on hands like the West hand, bidding 1 no trump, just in case your partner has a huge hand, because that's going to not only make your bids have a very wide range for a 1 no trump response, very wide range, because partner might only have a 9 count, so you can't start just moving the whole ranges up and down, but you just have to play with the odds. The odds are that he doesn't have an 18 count, and in any case there's quite a good chance if you pass that North will keep the bidding open.
Now here, Hellas didn't bid 2 diamonds because he was afraid of being passed out in 1 spade doubled. He has a very nice spade suit. He has a constructive hand, and maybe they had a better fit in diamonds, hence his 2 diamond bid.
How do you expect? I was exactly going to suggest that Hellas would play a small diamond now, not to get a diamond off in dummy, but to gain a tempo in setting up his diamonds.
Yes, It's often a good idea to set up your side suit first before you draw. The problem is, of course, here that he has a spade loser. He doesn't expect to have a spade loser. So I think he's going down.
That's not right, is it?
Discard a heart.
Yes, that's probably best, but is it enough? I don't think so.
That's not right, that tap-in comment saying that the Norwegians only overcall on up to 15 and double on 16. Surely not.
That's not, no. I've seen them overcalling on 17 without a problem. The play has been very fast in this match, at both tables actually. They're also playing 15 in the other room. I remember last night, the first segment ended after 2 hours and almost 40 minutes. And they've only been playing for 1 hour and 50 minutes now.
Doesn't strike me as a particularly interesting session in terms of the deals that we watched. I mean, I'm sure if you look back on any session you can find, imagine you were writing, say, a tournament report for the bulletin on it, you can always find 3 or 4 deals that are worth reporting because they've got some point of interest, but basically there weren't too many, were they? I mean, what do you remember as being outstanding, you two?
Well, I think it was good thinking by Helnes when he pulled 6 clubs to 6 no trumps, David.
Yes, it was an interesting decision, but there wasn't really any clear answer to it. I think he had to guess at the end, as one would expect when he spent so long thinking about it. If there was clear-cut logic available, he'd have found it more quickly. Certainly was an interesting decision.
And also board number 8, the 3-0, only have a chance if it's played from the hand with Jack second in heart.
Yes, but that happens not for any reason that sort of readers could benefit from, just from some bizarre convention they happen to play.
But
I'm asked,
you would have,
I thought, go on, Peter.
but David, you would have no problem at all. You used to tell that from a match with 64 boards, you're only allowed 1 board in the magazine. So you don't have to look for a board in the first segment.
Well,
Right.
you're assuming
can't...
that David is staying up all night, Peter.
No, I've got something to tell Peter. Because the England team got medals in the Open, the Women's and the Seniors, they did in fact give me 3.5 pages, and I had to give a lot of extra hands to Eleanor. And that magazine dropped through the front door today, and they presented it really well because they've got pairs of photos side by side for all the partnerships in between the deals, and of course from such a long championship like the whole of the European I could pick out some really brilliant deals. Naturally, ones with at least a double figure swing to England on every single hand, as we're meant to make out that the players never make any mistakes and so on, or present them in a favourable light. So I was able to get 3.5 pages.
Right. The question I got. Sorry, you first, David. This is not important.
No, mine wasn't. You go.
Well, the question I got was the same we had earlier. I thought we were supposed to have the same boards in both matches by now. Do you know why? Not. And the answer is no, we don't know. But here's an interesting one. What do you think of the ACBL decision to go to 60 board matches in all major national team events beginning next year? So shortening the matches from 64 to 60.
We discussed it during the European Championship, didn't we? And at first I sort of answered rather glibly and just said, oh well, it gives them more chance to get away early and enjoy having a great dinner in some new country like Croatia, so I was in favour of it. But pretty soon there were some serious comments coming into the bulletins from the players saying that this is a really major championship, one of the best in the year, championship with all the teams from Europe, and it makes sense in such a major event to play the higher number of boards. So I had to change my mind when I heard those arguments, because I think they made good sense.
Have you seen Mattala started too late to under-offing? But he just survived because he now twice have under-offed with his 5-card spade, not to be end played.
No, he's not surviving. Declarer's making. He should have discarded a heart, right?
No, if he had done that, then he was forced to play up. If he had discarded a heart and not have played another heart, he just could discard his diamond and will get the 2 last trick on Jack 9 of spade.
Oh yes, what I meant was that the declarer should have discarded a heart on the club earlier. That's what I meant, sorry. I'm told why not the same boards in both matches. And the answer is both matches are in the same room with very little space between the tables, and that's why they're not playing the same boards.
Oh, they have about 1,000 tables, or at least 500 tables, playing in different tournaments. So it was impossible for them to find room so 4 tables could play the same cards. That sound, let me put it nicely, strange.
Now, 1-0 trump here is 2014. 2 hearts doesn't promise spades, doesn't promise 5 spades, and 2 no trumps shows a maximum with 3 spades. Last board of the first set now. Thanks to our operator, we're not quite sure who it is, although it reads Joe Stokes in the profile. Thanks David, Peter, for the voice commentary. and to Richie Racing for the written part of it, and of course Roland Rohowski from Germany. Thanks to the ACBL and Jan Martel for allowing us to broadcast and for setting up a nice show for us. And of course thanks to
that they have an extra problem on the venue.
I was in the middle of a sentence, Peter.
Sorry? Okay. I'll wait to explain why they don't play the same cards.
I think I did that, but okay. I just wanted to thank our listeners for coming this afternoon in America, evening in Europe. We hope to see you back for the continuation in perhaps half an hour from now, maybe only 25 minutes. Over to you, Peter.
Okay. I was told that the big playing area where it was possible to place the tables with quite a distance is very close to a ballroom where they're playing very loud music. Not an excuse I accept, but that tells something about the problems they have.
We lost David. No slider. Maybe he can hear us, but he can't speak. So they went for the Moisian fit here instead of 3-no. A little strange. I'd better explain Moisian fit. It's a 4-3 fit. Was an American player many decades ago. I believe his first name was it Adolf or something like that, Adolphe, Mois, who just loved to play on 4-3 fits. Alphonse, yes, Alphonse Mois it was, also known as Sonny.
Do you know the meaning of South's bids to get there?
I'm afraid not, David.
Did you say that 2 hearts shows 4 spades before?
Yes. The 2-no showed a maximum no trump with spade support. Maybe there was a misunderstanding later, we don't know. Maybe Madala thought Bocchi had 4 spades. Or maybe he didn't have the chance to get back to 3-no trumps after 4 clubs, of course.
No, I expect that 3 diamonds show a short suit, and then North decided that 3-no should not be the contract.
Right. And despite the nasty trump break, de Clara will make this.
Seems that 5 clubs would have been a very nice contract.
Bocchi leaving the table. Are we going to have voice for the... I'm asked if we're going to have voice for the next set. Yes, is the answer. I'll be staying up for a while. I'll be joined by Graham Osborne from England. Possibly Peter, I don't know. and if not, maybe John Swanson. Alphonse Moyes was the editor of the British World, and he championed 4-3 in his tournament reports. You said 5 clubs, David, even 6 clubs.
Well, even 6 clubs. The kibitzers are saying 6 clubs is a good contract, very reasonably.
Yeah.
And quite. If 2 hearts was the comment on 2 hearts was usually shows 4 spades and 5 clubs. So I'm not quite sure why South turned down the offer of the club contract.
Okay, the end. We'll be back in maybe 20-25 minutes. Thank you all, and goodbye for now.
Yes, and
Thanks for
he
watching.
made 4 spades, but on a diamond attack, I expect him to go down. Jeg kan tell you, Roland, Alphonse Moyen lived from 1898 to 1973.
Perhaps the diamond lead was marked after South had shown the singleton diamond and North hadn't liked 3 no trumps. That would be attacking the long trump holding.
Great.
About the
See you soon.
about the explanation about they don't find room to play the same cards. I'm told that the venue, the hotel, has 2,956 hotel rooms and 305 suites. So it should be possible to find room for 4 tables outside the ballroom.